Hello, everyone. Today we will learn about the installation of control and display equipment. Control and display equipment include fire alarm control panels, interlocking type, fire linkage controllers, gas fire extinguishing controllers, fire electrical control devices, emergency power supplies for fire equipment, emergency fire broadcast equipment, fire telephone hosts, graphic display devices in fire control rooms, transmission equipment, electrical fire monitoring equipment, and more. Let's begin by learning about the installation of controller-type equipment. The installation of controller-type equipment such as fire alarm control panels, combustible gas alarm controllers, and fire linkage controllers should adhere to the following regulations. 1. When installed on the wall, the bottom edge should be 1.3 to 1.5 meters above the floor level. The side near the door hinge should not be less than 0.5 meters from the wall, and the front operational distance should not be less than 1.2 meters. When installed on the floor, the bottom edge should be 0.1 to 0.2 meters above the ground. 2. Controllers should be securely installed and should not be tilted. When installed on lightweight walls, reinforcement measures should be taken. 3. Cables or wires leading into the controller should meet the following requirements. 1. Wiring should be neat, avoid crossing, and be securely fixed. 2. The ends of cable cores and paired wires should be numbered and consistent with the drawings. The markings should be clear and resistant to fading. 3. No more than 2 wires should be connected to each terminal on the terminal board. 4. There should be a minimum excess length of 200 mm for cable cores and wires. 5. Wires should be bundled. 6. After wires pass through conduits or trunking, the openings of the conduits or trunking should be sealed. 4. By following these installation guidelines, the control and display equipment can function effectively and reliably within fire protection systems. Controllers should be directly connected to their external backup power supplies. 5. The grounding of controllers should be secure and clearly marked with permanent signage. Next, let's delve into the installation of fire electrical control devices. Fire electrical control devices are used to control various automatic firefighting facilities in buildings, including fire water supply equipment, automatic fire extinguishing equipment, indoor hydrant equipment, smoke prevention equipment, fire doors and windows, fire shutters, etc. They are capable of executing predetermined actions on controlled devices, receiving feedback signals from controlled devices, monitoring the status of controlled devices, communicating information with superior monitoring devices, and issuing audible and visual alerts to users. The installation of fire electrical control devices should meet the following requirements. 1. Before installation, functional checks should be conducted on fire electrical control devices. Devices that do not pass the inspection are strictly prohibited from being installed. 2. The ends of external connecting wires to fire electrical control devices should bear clear and permanent markings. 3. Terminals of different voltage levels and current categories within the enclosure of fire electrical control devices should be arranged separately and clearly marked with permanent signage. 4. Fire electrical control devices should be securely installed and should not be tilted. When installed on lightweight walls, reinforcement measures should be taken. Emergency power supplies for fire equipment are powered by batteries and include AC output emergency power supplies for fire equipment and DC output emergency power supplies. Their main function is to supply power to various firefighting equipment in case of main power failure. The installation of emergency power supplies for fire equipment should meet the following requirements. 1. The batteries of emergency power supplies for fire equipment should be installed in well-ventilated areas. If installed in sealed environments, ventilation devices should be provided. 2. Acidic batteries should not be installed in places with alkaline substances, and alkaline batteries should not be installed in places with acidic substances. 3. Emergency power supplies for fire equipment should not be installed near pipelines, warehouses, operating rooms, or other locations with combustible gases. 4. Fire equipment with single-phase rated power greater than 30 kilowatts or three-phase rated power greater than 120 kilowatts should have independent emergency power supplies. During a fire alarm or other emergency event, emergency fire broadcast systems disseminate timely and accurate instructions or pre-prepared messages through central command systems. So what regulations should the setting of emergency fire broadcast systems comply with? Next, let's learn about the requirements for setting up emergency fire broadcast systems. 1. Speakers in civilian buildings should be installed in public areas such as corridors and halls. 2. Each speaker's rated power should not be less than 3 watts. The quantity of speakers should ensure that the linear distance from any point within a fire compartment to the nearest speaker is not greater than 25 meters. At the end of corridors, the distance to the nearest speaker should not exceed 12.5 meters. In environments where ambient noise exceeds 60 decibels, speakers should be set up so that the sound pressure level at the farthest point within their coverage area is 15 decibels higher than the background noise. When installing dedicated speakers in guest rooms, their power should not be less than 1.0 watts. 3. The bottom edge height of wall-mounted speakers should be greater than 2.2 m from the ground. A fire display panel, also known as a zone display unit, is a fire alarm display device used within floors or individual fire compartments. In the event of a fire within a building, the Fire Control Center's controller generates an alarm and transmits the alarm signal to the fire display panel in the affected fire area. The fire display panel then displays the detector number and relevant information of the alarm, and emits an alarm sound to notify personnel in the affected area. The setup of fire display panels should adhere to the following regulations. 1. It is advisable to install one zone display unit in each alarm area. Places like hotels and restaurants should have one zone display unit in each alarm area. 2. When an alarm area spans multiple floors, it is preferable to install a zone display unit on each floor that only displays information relevant to that floor. Zone display units should be positioned at prominent and easily accessible locations such as entrances. When installed on the wall, the height of the bottom edge from the ground should be 1.3 to 1.5 meters. This concludes our lesson for today. Thank you for watching.